Okay, I'm now going to continue talking about reconfigurable or adaptive devices. And I'm going to use this car as an example, which I now realize it's very difficult to see which direction it's driving, but it can be a mystery. So I'm going to talk about an automatic gearbox. And so I'm going to start from the beginning. What the car manufacturers want, or what they want to achieve, is to have they want to have the best experience for the driver, and experience is of course relevant. Yeah. Some people want good gas mileage and minimal engine tear or engine wear, I guess, would be more, whereas others want the best possible performance and don't care about engine wear or so. Yeah. So automatic gearboxes, they will shift up gears when they think it's appropriate based on the throttle position. Or if you have the throttle all the way down, that means you want to accelerate as fast as possible. Well, then the automatic gearbox waits until you are up on a high revolution before it shifts up. And for the regular driver who does not want the super fast acceleration, the gearbox, can, or the system can feel where the throttle is, and then make the gears at the lower RPMs. And basically, high revolutions per minute will introduce more wear on the engine than low revolutions per minute. And also lower revolutions translate to lower gas mileage. And additionally, the gearbox prefers to do the gear shifts at the low RPMs. And also, the gearbox wants to do as few gear changes as possible. However, the gearbox is even more sophisticated. It can actually adapt itself based on the type of user who sits in the car. And basically, how this happens is if you're a calm driver who doesn't want to accelerate much, the gearbox will log how you use the throttle, and it realizes, okay, this driver, he is very calm and he doesn't want high acceleration. So this means that I can safely gear up at low revolutions per minute, because the driver will not suddenly want to accelerate, which will force me to shift down. And the gearbox doesn't want to do an unnecessary gear shift. It doesn't want to shift up and then suddenly have to shift down again. So based on the frequency in which you use the throttle, the gearbox will adapt. So let's say a father has driven his car carefully, always been careful on the throttle, and the gearbox and the car has learned, okay, this guy, he's a very nice guy, he doesn't accelerate, saves the environment and everything, great guy. And the car knows that, or the gearbox knows that it can safely shift to higher gears at low revolutions per minute. It will save gas and save the engine and so forth. So it does. But then suddenly, father and goes on vacation, and this 18-year-old kid, he wants to impress this girl, so he puts on his sunglasses and and he goes into the car, and he is crazy on the throttle to impress the girl, of course, and also he uses the handbrake because that apparently works. Anyway, he wants to impress the girl, and he is crazy on the throttle, and and according to the throttle position, the car will make the gear shifts at high RPMs. However, the car will also learn that, okay, this guy, he likes to play with the throttle all the time. So I have to keep the car running at high revolutions in this area. In case he decides to push down the throttle like this, then the car has to be ready. So it doesn't have to if it is in a high gear, to be at low RPM, and the kid pushes the acceleration, well, then the car has to shift down in order to give the acceleration. So the car learns that, okay, this guy, he's crazy. I'm gonna keep the engine running at high revolution per minute all the time, so that the car is ready to go whenever he pushes the acceleration button to impress this girl. Whether it works or not, who knows? Anyway, this is an example of how a system adapts. And in this case, it's carefully coded how the system shall adapt. I mean, the engine is not allowed to go over a certain amount of RPMs. We won't allow it. But anyway, part of the point I was trying to make here is that the car learns and finds where is the optimal place to make the gears for this user. And when you are in first gear and wants to go to second gear, maybe the best place is here. And from second gear to third, maybe the best place is here. And from third to fourth, maybe it's here. No, just an example. And these values, they are computed and so forth, and then they are moved into memory. And then when the sun comes along, these values become obsolete, and some other values are calculated, maybe like this. Maybe all of the gear changes should happen here because this guy is so crazy. Who knows? But yeah, and how this works is basically you have a CPU. It has some instruction memory, which tells it how to do the calculations and so forth. And based on the input from the gas pedal or the throttle, and of course there is a speed sensor and an RPM sensor involved. And based on this, the new values are formed, and thus the gearbox or the gear is changed in the gearbox. The CPU sends the signal. So what's important to note in this example is that this system is not dependent on high performance. That is, it's okay if the system uses one day to realize that it has a new crazy driver. That's okay. So in situations like this, it is optimal to use software and a CPU to do these sort of calculations. Because and another thing is that these calculations, when the gearbox adapts, it uses, let's say, after 100 gear shifts, it will adapt. It doesn't adapt, after 1 minute. Then it would be a little bit crazy. So it's okay that it uses a long amount of time. And for such applications, it is optimal to use, like a common hardware architecture and common software